What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Division Three Diaries page here on Instagram. Here with the Division Three Women's Volleyball Fan Podcast. Today, I am joined by the lovely, is it Zoe or Zoe?
Zoe.
Zoe Ackerman. So why don't you give us a quick introduction and kind of going into the first question? And how did you get into volleyball? Like, what was the
Yeah.
reason?
Okay. I'm Zoe. I'm from Denver, Colorado. Currently playing at Babson. I'm a sophomore and I'm a setter. I got into volleyball. Just my mom's a coach. She's been coaching for my whole life. I probably 30 years now. I'm not honestly sure, but so I've just grown up around the sport. Honestly, grew to love it. Went to all her tournaments when I was younger. My family just kind of traveled, and that was our vacations pretty much. Um, But yeah, I'd say that's pretty much how I got into it. She kind of handed me a ball when I was like 4 or 5, and I just messed around and I was like, this is great. I love it.
I mean, you gotta start young. I remember
Yeah,
my
right.
sister started playing soccer when she was like 3. So I mean, it definitely works.
Oh yeah. Many sports that I've tried, but just none stuck. So
I've tried pretty much every sport, so I definitely understand that. It took me to
yeah.
like I think like seventh grade to finally pick volleyball, but I mean,
Yeah.
so I guess the first question is obviously you're at Babson right now, but when you were in your process, say junior, senior year, high school club season, what kind of stuck out to Babson, and how, like I guess
Yeah.
how early did you say, I'm gonna commit there? Was it like your junior year, your senior year, etc.?
Yeah. Well, Amelia originally he reached out to me in my sophomore year, I'm pretty sure, of high school. And it was very like touch and go. We didn't talk that much. It was just, hi, we're Babson. And I was like, cool, okay, bye. Um, and then he reached back out my junior year, and that's when we kind of started talking. And I was like, oh, like, let me ask around, like talk to other people if they know the school. And most kids my age were like, I don't know what that school is. Pretty much everybody at my club was, I have to go D1. And I was like, okay. But I kind of knew I wanted a high academic school. I obviously wanted good volleyball, so I was looking at definitely the top 50 schools for D3, just making sure I'm still prioritizing volleyball as well as academics. But I was asking kids my age, nobody knew what Babson was. And then I started just asking other coaches. They were like, haven't really heard of it, but East Coast, good schools. We love Boston. And I was like, okay, cool. Um, but then I asked my dad, and he was like, oh, I actually have a coworker who knows what Babson is. So I picked his brain a little bit. And he was saying that Babson's such a high academic school. And then he had raving reviews about it. So then within that, hearing that kind of endorsement from people who my dad has such high respect for and I have respect for, I was like, okay, this is a pretty legit school. And then I came to Babson, and after my freshman year, it was ranked like the second best school by the Wall Street Journal. And there are signs all over campus. So they make sure everybody knows that. Um, but yeah, other than just talking with Neely and chit chatting, I think I committed the fall of my senior year, kind of after my high school season.
Yeah, I started my recruitment process pretty late when I was going
Yeah.
into college, and when Bard reached out to me, I was like, "Who? Who?" But I ended up,
Yeah.
I mean, I only was there for a semester because then I switched majors. But I mean, I loved it there. But I
Yeah.
mean, I hadn't heard a lot about Babson either, and I believe it was my friends at Bard on the women's team who played you
Mm.
guys, and they were like, "We don't know
Yes.
who
Yeah.
Babson is. Like, who is the?" And then my friend Becca's like, "Yo, we're kind of cooked." And I thought that was, and then I kind of looked more into it, and this is when I started really getting into Division Three women's, and I was
Yeah.
like, damn, okay. um
They got something going on.
but obviously, like you mentioned, like you like high academic schools, high athletic schools as well, and kind of keeping that balance. But how hard is it to balance that at Babson, like in terms of like working with your coaches, working with your faculty members, even just working with like maybe classmates or teammates, and kind of
Oh,
balancing
yeah.
that?
My coaches are very supportive. Everybody at Babson, faculty, staff, everybody's super supportive of the athletes. We have an academic advisor for our team. I took him for one of my classes, and he's just such a sweet guy. Preseason, we all made him a meal, and we were all like, "Hi, this is the team. So hope you like us because you're kind of stuck with us." But everybody's super supportive. They give us every resource we need. If we need tutors for specific classes, we all help each other out as well. We have a master file almost where it's, here are our study guides from the past, or this class has been changed, but maybe some of the classes are still the same. So we're all really helpful. If we do group projects, obviously we're all like, okay, here's what I've done in the past. Let's collaborate. Let's just kind of help everybody out because everyone knows all right, you're busy. You have class, then you have workouts, then you have practice. It's just a whole mess of things. But it's challenging, especially at Babson when there's so many group projects. Since we're so business oriented, it's here's what the real life is, just group projects pretty much. So every class there's something at least.
I definitely get that because I took when I was at Sage, I was a sports management major, so I took a lot of business classes. I think it
Yeah.
was one of my like one of my business classes. I walked in and the guy goes, "All right, here's a business owner. Tell him what he's doing wrong," and we're all sitting there like, "Just got here. It's first
Yeah,
day
I don't
semester."
know.
He wore the wrong tie. I don't know.
Yep, perfect.
So kind of going going off of that. How would you describe like the volleyball culture, like with the team at Babson? Like, do you have a lot of
Yeah.
fun? Is it more like because I've been around both sorts of teams and I've talked with both sorts of players, but it's like their team is super serious or they're super like just kind of like, oh, we won a game. All right, let's go party. Not like actually, but like
Yeah.
you kind
I
of get
think
the point.
for sure. We definitely have both sides of the spectrum where it's we really focus if we have a big game coming up. If we're playing MIT in the next couple days, everybody's like, okay, now's the time. It's crunch time. We all got to get in the gym. We all have to be working hard. Um, Preseason, it's definitely a lot of good vibes. I mean, I'm sure you know it's you're there, all you're doing is playing. You're around your team, you're playing, you've practiced in the morning, you've practiced at night. In between is free reign. So we definitely have a lot of fun moments, but I'd say we're all really hardworking. And there's been a big culture shift, even from my freshman year to now my sophomore year, of the work ethic and the goals for the team. Everybody's like currently striving for winning championships. And last year, it wasn't as much. There were definitely times when people would go for that. But currently, especially, it's everybody's on board. Everybody's trying to put the team before themselves. And our coaches are so supportive of that. The coaches are constantly helping us, coaching us, obviously, but making sure that we get what we need and talking to us specifically. If I need to meet with Coach Neely or if I need to meet with any of the coaches on our team, they're always more than happy to do so. Just talk through things. So, yeah.
I love to hear that. That was something I was worried about when I went to Sage and was on staff
Yeah.
because I had heard like stories, obviously like word of mouth. But I went there, we had tons of fun. I mean, like our Halloween practice was one of the
Oh,
funnest
yeah.
things because what we did is we had all four of our coaches, we all dressed up as a player. So me and the
Yes.
assistant coach Thomas, we both had wigs on. It was a lot of fun. It was a blast.
I loved
Um,
we dressed up as our coaches.
we were trying to like see if we were trying to like hint at you guys should definitely do that, but I mean they right over their head.
Yep, nope. Not gonna pick up on it.
So kind of like going off of that, kind of just fun times, fun memories. What is your favorite volleyball memory? Whether it's from club, high school,
Yeah.
college, even all three. Just like what's a memory that sticks out? Whether it was a like one like even if it's losing a game. I remember I think when I interviewed Toby West, she said her favorite memory was finishing second in her region or state or something like that. But it was still like a great memory to have.
Less of a specific memory and just my team when I was 17, so club, but when I was on my 17's team, there wasn't like everybody on that team was just a family. We all hung out, we all loved each other. Every travel tournament, we're walking through the airport, we're all just chit-chatting. There was no little cliques within the team. It was just one big unit. And I loved it so much. And in that season, actually, we got stuck in Indianapolis because there was a snowstorm in Denver. So we had an extra night at the hotel we were staying at. And it was like, well, I mean, what are you gonna do? You're tired, you're missing a day of school. So we all played cards on my hotel floor. And I was like, this is a fantastic time. But just that entire season with the team. I mean, I love them. I'm in contact with so many of them. It's just such a great team.
I mean, I can't really say much about that. I didn't play club, but I
Yeah.
do know like I definitely get that team environment because my senior year of high school, it's just our school is not like it used like we're kind of successful, but we don't play to like we're winter ball, so we don't get a state tournament. So the furthest we can
Oh,
go is region.
okay.
And so like obviously all of us are bummed about that, but like in
Yeah.
general, I feel like it's better for our team because it's like we know it's like, oh, if we win regionals, whatever. But
Yeah.
but I mean, for the first, our school had just never, we had never had people go to college for boys volleyball. It just never happened. And my senior year, we had three of us go, which was absolutely
Wow.
insane. And one of them is he's actually doing pretty well. He's at Shrine right now. Um, but I mean, definitely get that tight environment because I think if we didn't have that, there's no way in heck that we would have all of us would have gone to college for it, all three of us.
Yeah.
Um, but I guess kind of going towards you specifically inside of sort of your game, what's your favorite skill in volleyball to showcase? Because obviously, as a setter, you legitimately have to know every single skill. It's not like you're a libero and you're like, oh, I know
Yeah.
how to pass and serve, or in middle, it's like I know how to block and obviously swing, move laterally. But like as a setter, obviously, you're doing pretty much everything. Not as
Yep.
much hitting, obviously, but you get the
Yeah.
point. Like, what's your like favorite skill, even if it's not setting, just like a skill that you're like, yeah, I'm pretty good at that. You could say.
Um, it's kind of broad, but just whenever it's a hustle play. Like if I have a ball that's shanked into my coaches and I'm running for it and I'm getting it up, I adore those plays, especially if I get my hands on it. Like I'm sure you know, if it's a low pass and the setter's got to get on their knees and set outside, it's one of my favorite things. I don't know why, because for some reason, like my middles really hype me up about it. They're like, that was so good. That was amazing. Thank you. Cause I don't know if it's that hard. Like in my mind, I'm getting my hands on the ball. I'm just doing it. But in their eyes, it's like, wow, you can do that. And then I see them set at practice. I'm like, that's why I love my middles and they really want to be setters. And I love hitting off of their sets at the start of practice.
Probably the only other position that wants to play center. There was a
Yes.
few times this past season, obviously the double rule being gone, and
Yep.
it would set, and they would get one ball in practice where it's just okay, that's a good set. You can have that one, and they're like, oh,
Yep.
I guess I'm a setter now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really it's one of the funnier things to watch in my opinion, because then they look at you while the play's going on, like, oops, my
I'm
bad,
like, ooh, I got a set. And I'm like, you got one.
you get one.
My middle will
You from
take
your perspective,
one.
it's probably like, oh, you got an assist. I have 40 of those.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm so proud of you. Well, I always tell my middles, especially, I'm like, I know you want to set, but also I need you to get out of my way so I can set you, please. But they'll get one assist and they're like, I can take any ball from you now. I'm like, no, please go hit.
Yeah, I know my one of my friends at a Division 3 school out west, when she sets and her middle takes the ball from her, she's like, oh, that's great, never do that again.
Yep.
So just kind of going from that, obviously, as mentioned many times, as many people know, you're a setter. But like, what made you become a setter? Because I know for a lot of people when they're younger, it's like, oh, you have somewhat decent hands, you're gonna be a setter. It's kind of like the oh, you're tall, you're a middle now.
Yep. Yeah. I was very much just thrown into it. I'm pretty sure it was, oh, okay. Like you said, you can do this kind of, go for it. Develop that skill. Um, so I was just going through there for a while, like when I was on the 11s team and 12s team, I believe, and maybe a little bit into my 13s. I was running a 6-2 with a teammate of mine, and we were on the same team until we were 16, I'm pretty sure. But we were running a 6-2. I would hit front row, she set back row. You can imagine. But then my coach, when I was 13, decided, you know what? For one set, go play middle, which I'm sure you can imagine. It's just my worst nightmare. I was like, all right, if you say so. But that was pretty quickly decided that I'm not a middle, and my coach and I both agreed on that. So that was ruled out really fast. Other than that, I preferred setting more than hitting. I kind of enjoy running the court almost, like just being the quarterback and setting people up so that they can go look amazing. I love setting an outside. It's just a great play and they hammer the ball. And I'm like, wow, that's fantastic. I know I won't be able to do that, but I love seeing my teammates do that. And I love getting the energy that they get. I love seeing them shine. And especially if my libero gets a good pass, I'm like, that was a phenomenal up. And you just made my life so easy. All I have to do is just stand here and set the ball. Thank you.
I mean, watching outsides get set is incredible. I know we have on our staff, I guess our roster last season, we had three, I guess, true setters. We obviously had people who could set the ball, but we had three true setters. And
Yeah.
every time they would always like go to swing like once in hitting lines. And it's the same thing with the middles and setter. They'd look at our OH1 Macy, who's this little short 5'3" beast, but they would look at her like, Macy, we're coming for your job. You better get ready to
Yep.
warm the bench.
Yep.
Um, but I mean, I can't talk from experience with setting. It's the only skill I can't do. I've played middle, I've played libero, I've played outside, I've played right side. And then there was one time where my coach was in high school was like, you should try setting. So you know all the skills. And I said, no, that I'm good. I'll pass.
You don't
Um,
have to worry about it now. No doubles.
no, no doubles. I mean, that's true. I mean, it doesn't matter if the ball's being set below the net, but
Oh, hey, it's okay. My
I
middle
mean,
will
I can
still do
bump
that and
set
say she's a
decently. I
setter.
just can't. You ask me to use my hands, I go no. Um, But I guess one, I guess, major final question, and this is more of like you need to like kind of give yourself a pat on the back. I know a lot of players are very humble these days, but obviously like all conference and all that is cool. But like, what did it feel like being named and having that kind of honor out of 400 plus schools, thousands and thousands of college athletes, being like one of the select few, the highest percentile, whatever you want to call it, being named an All American and kind of realizing, oh my God, like I'm a beast.
My freshman year when I first got it, I didn't register really what it was. My coach kind of dropped a hint. It was very much, well, you're an All-American, and then walked away. And I was like, what? Okay, bye. And I just continued on because at that time we were in NCAA's and I was at Ithaca. Like, I have bigger priorities right now than whatever he's saying. It was, I have a game to play. I have to focus on this. So it didn't really register in my brain until my coach actually handed me a picture frame with my little certificate. And he was like, I just wanted to give this to you. And I said, oh, thank you. I didn't realize what I had at the time. So it definitely took a while for it to like hit me, which is something I feel like every player strives for. I feel like everybody wants to have all conference, be an all American. So that was always a goal of mine. More importantly, I wanted the team to do well. And I feel like I kind of got that because our team really was shining and I was doing my job well, I guess, because everybody was getting kills and everybody was looking at Babson because we kept going far. So it was just, I felt really honored and honestly really, really grateful that other coaches saw the effort that I was putting in and the things that I was doing. And they said that I was doing well at it and that my setting was deserving of that All-American award.
Well, that's a very beautiful response. I mean, I just think it's funny because I'll see like videos of like these players walking into their coach's office and the coach is like, by the way, you're an All-American. It's this big celebration. Everyone's freaking out. I just like the idea of a coach going up and going, you know what? Oh, by the way, you're an All-American. Anyway, have a great day. And just walking away,
Continuing on.
just moving on with their day like it's an
Yep.
everyday thing.
My coach just dropped it and I was like, okay. And he's like, okay, go warm up. I'm like, okay, okay, bye.
that's that's I mean, hey, might as well not dwell on it if you have to go warm up. But that's just really
Yep.
funny to me. Imagine like you were like just like wait, what? And your whole team's like
it,
stops warming up. They're like,
yeah,
wait, what did you
I
just
definitely
say?
took a moment. I was like, did he just say that? And I was like, no, I heard him wrong. I misunderstood that.
I feel like personally I'm a little envious of people who get these awards, specifically because my senior year of high school, I was statistics wise, I was behind the person who got all conference above me. I was like 0.02%. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
was one less attempt or one less error away from. So it kind of hits me. But then at the same time, I'm like, I see reactions like that, and I'm like, you know what? I don't think this is enough for me.
Yeah. Totally
And I
get
guess the final question is, who is your idol in volleyball, and kind of off of that, who is like your favorite player to watch or even just play against, like a player that you're like every time you play them you're like they could have 30 kills swinging over my head and I'd still find them amazing.
that. My idol, I would say first and foremost is my mom, just because everything she does, I'm just in awe of. She's on her high school wall of fame. She's just somebody I look up to. Everything she says, I'm like, I have to separate her from being my mom and being my coach. It's okay, you're telling me to fix my hands and you're my mom and I'm not going to listen to you. And then I'll do it. And I'm like, oh, right, you're also a coach and you know what you're talking about and you just fixed my setting. So thank you very much. So I always idolize her for just her knowledge of the sport and everything she does. But idol wise, I met Courtney Thompson when I was around 10 or so. She came to a clinic at my club at the time and just seeing how she communicated, seeing how she talked with everybody. She bought her Olympic medals with her at the time. So I was like, oh, you're legit. Cool. Like you. So just interacting with her, hearing her perspective, and the things that she told me when I was that young, I'm now teaching other girls and I'm telling other people if they have advice. Hey, you have any advice on setting? Yes, here's something Courtney Thompson told me when I was young and I still live by. Like I'm still thinking of things that she would say and applying that to my game. So she's definitely somebody who I've always looked up to. Somebody who I would play against and look up to. I'm not sure. I mean, honestly, one of my own teammates, like Lauren Gibbs,
Hmm.
I loved playing with her. My freshman year, I feel so bad because I didn't set her as often as I did this year. Um, as I'm sure you saw, I definitely made sure that she found the ball, but I loved setting her. I loved playing against her. Similarly, a teammate who, whenever she was on the other side, my freshman year, Lulu McShane, whenever I would play against her, I just loved watching her swing. And then I'd also remember she's hitting at me, and I need to be low on my defense and actually get the ball up and rather just stand there and get hit in the face. But she was somebody who I just adored playing against.
I mean, I definitely get that. So he wasn't really a teammate, because I was never on the men's team at Sage, but he was someone that I did like open gyms against.
Yeah.
So shout out my one of my best friends, Jack McWilliam, because he's one of those players. I mean, he came back after not going being in college and had never played volleyball, and now he's probably one of the best all around players I've ever met, which is insane.
Yeah.
Grandpa out there on the court, reverse flowing. So I mean, it's definitely good, and definitely the Olympiads can teach you so much. A lot of my
Oh, yeah.
coaching advice comes from, I don't know if you know who Coach Neef Park is. She was just named the woman's assistant coach, so she's given me a lot of like advice and like just feedback and everything. And so she's been a blessing to be worked with. And I mean, the fact that you got to meet your idol before she was your idol,
Yeah.
I feel like that's a much different perspective, because when I had the opportunity to even like just kind of get a hello from who my idol is, and Whitney Bauer, I like had like a freak out. It was the like I ran around my room, and then I got to go see her play against my other
Yeah.
idol, who's August Rasky. So that was an incredible amount of fun. But I mean, at that time, I knew they were my idols. Whitney Bauer's been my favorite player since probably like before she even got to college. But I could not imagine like just seeing a random player you've never heard of walk up and like, oh, by the way, this is my Olympic medal.
Yep. Yeah. Cause I mean, little me at the time, I wasn't, yeah, you know, the Olympics, like you've heard of them, but if you're that young, you don't really, every 4 years, okay, I won't remember that. But then I meet this person who's coming in and she's showing me these big medals, and it's like, oh, I've won the Olympics. And you're just like, you exist. It's more just a realization of these people are real. And you're
It's
like,
not
oh
just
my
a movie.
goodness. No, like you're in person. Like I see you, you're teaching me, you're telling me things, we're having a conversation.
I mean, I've definitely felt that where it's like, oh my God, you're real.
Yep.
This isn't a movie. This isn't made up. But I mean, I don't have any further questions from that. If you have anything you want to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, like, I guess I can kind of assume, but why'd you choose to focus on D3?
Because I've spent my whole life pretty much around it.
Oh,
There's not really a lot of like big division one, for men specifically. There's like none in my area. Very limited in general, because obviously Division One is very like Midwest, for men's. And then I started kind of getting into the women's game more because my coach in high school, he was a women's coach who just happened to coach boys, and so he taught us a lot of skills that are very focused on women's volleyball,
yeah.
especially like with our defense. So that's when I kind of grew and fell in love with women's. I started watching Division One women's. I was like, this is nice. And then I started working with the Division 3 team. When I was at Bard, I worked with their women's team, as a manager. And I kind of was like looking at the competition. I was like, this is something I like. And I started doing a lot more research once I got to Sage and had the opportunity to, actually be on the staff there. I
Yeah.
did like recruiting, stats, all that. Um, and like kind of like especially when I was going through like recruiting and like recruiting these girls, like who like they're aware, they're like, well, we were never going to get a Division 1 offer, but to like just get talked to for a coach from a coach in general, which is why I think I love Division 3, because there's so many schools, there's so many opportunities for like, girls to live out their dreams. Even the men's sport growing, there was like 4 or 5 schools that added it this past season. So
Yeah.
it's like it's incredible to see, especially like being a Division 3 athlete. It's like you obviously got to focus on Division 3 sports. And actually, it was Coach Taylor Tomei, at Laverne, who was just a random Facebook thing during the tournament. I was just posting updates in the volleyball group chat that we're all in, and she was like, "Hey, you should just do this on Instagram." And I was like, "Okay." And it kind of
Wow.
started from that. So shout out to
Mhm.
her, Coach Randy. But I mean, yeah, and I mean, literally the other day, the girl that at first me and the head coach were like, we don't know if we really want this girl. Like she's kind of, and then her updated film came up and we said, you know what? Never mind, we want her.
Yes.
And so this was like, it was big for me because it was out of all the girls I had spent recruiting and taking time to recruit for the 2025, she was the first like one to commit. So that was
Oh, awesome.
very big feeling. And
Yeah.
she plays for Arizona Sky. Her high school is absolutely bonkers, back to back state champs. They
Wow.
had
Yeah.
one of their girls is going to Tennessee State, and one of them's going to Boise State. So
Yeah.
I mean, to get her to come from Arizona all the way to the middle of nowhere, New York, it felt great. But yeah, definitely for I guess Division 3 women's, it's so fun because there's so many teams to cover, and
Yeah.
it allows you to so much. There's so much information, especially for me who's very statistically oriented with things. Like it's definitely a vibe. I love it.
Yeah, for sure. What are you looking forward to see this fall?
Okay, I guess the big thing that everyone's really looking to see is Giulianata
Oh
losing
yeah.
everyone in
Yep.
their mind. Um, obviously losing Foley, Cooley, all of them. Uh, but four-peat question mark? We don't know. I'm actually one thing I'm really excited is the Liberty League.
Okay. Yeah.
With Ithaca and
Yep.
RIT on the rise, and obviously William Smith doing incredible things for being like a fourth year program.
Yes.
And I'd
Yeah.
say the conference realignment too. I know there's been a lot of conference realignment as well. So excited, like very excited to see that. And I guess another one I'm really looking forward to is I would probably have to say like who's like what the biggest upset's going to be.
Hmm.
Um, I believe my favorite upset from the past year was Pomona Pizzer. I think they upset like Claremont Mudscripts or something very early in
Wow.
the season.
Yeah.
And then who's like gonna have the biggest turnaround? I think Endicott had a pretty good turnaround when they brought in their freshmen with Hellenbrook,
Yes.
McGuire,
Yeah.
and Dressback. And then just kind of another conference I'm looking forward to is the Empire 8.
Yeah.
Because I mean Nas graduated, they're all Americans. St. John Fisher's returning everyone. But I mean it's gonna be a fun watch. It's gonna be a fun watch.
Yeah. I can't wait. I love preseason, just getting back here in August and everybody's so super excited and just meeting the freshmen especially. I'm like, I've met most of our incoming freshmen and I'm really excited to see what they're gonna do in the fall.
I mean, I know it's Sage. It's gonna be a good one because they finally have a tall front row. So like basically our main row last year was 5'11", 5'3", and 5'11", 6 foot. We give her 6 foot. She jumps like she's 6 foot.
There you go.
But now coming in, they have a 6 foot setter transfer,
Oh
a
wow.
5'11" outside. They have someone who's 5'8" but can jump out of the roof. So it's gonna be a very different, especially having two players at that 6 foot spot. One
Yeah.
of them's a transfer. I don't know if you guys ever played Southern Maine, but she's from Southern Maine. She took the season off last year, but she's an incredible player, so Cassidy. So we will hopefully see an increase in blocking for that school. But we will see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Super exciting.
But I mean, other than that, if you have anything else,
No, I mean, this was so much fun. Thank you.
no, thank you. Have great rest of your day,
Thanks. Yeah.
and good luck on the rest of your spring season.
Thank you so much.